Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and discover a massive shortcut for Japanese beginners. If you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by kanji, well, today is your lucky day. We're going to unpack a brilliant strategy that uses Korean as a secret key to unlock these characters for good.
You know, this is probably the number one question I hear. Beginners stare down this endless list of complex strokes and they feel like they have to just memorize thousands of characters through sheer brute force. But here's the thing. If you have any familiarity with Korean Hanja, you already possess a hidden linguistic superpower. We're going to take you from frustrating rote memorization to an exciting game of pattern recognition that can literally cut your study time in half. Take a look at this quote from our source material, because it fundamentally shifts how we need to approach studying. The authors point out a historical fact that we honestly forget all the time. These three nations share an ancient, overlapping linguistic root system. By recognizing this shared kanji sphere, we can completely stop treating Japanese vocabulary as isolated random sounds and actually start predicting them. So here is our agenda for cracking the code today. We'll hit breaking the barrier, the linguistic bridge, and the Onyomi rule. Then we'll do a case study on the word for king, look at some vocabulary expansion, and wrap up with a step-by-step roadmap. All right, let's jump straight into part one, breaking the kanji barrier. The core realization here is that you really have to stop starting from scratch. Since Japanese natives communicate based on kanji rather than just phonetic alphabets like hiragana or katakana, leveraging your existing Korean hanjibis is the ultimate shortcut. When you understand that a massive chunk of Japanese vocabulary is just a localized pronunciation of a shared Chinese root, one that Korean also shares, you realize you don't need to learn it all from zero. You just need to learn the formula for the conversion. Moving on to part two, the secret linguistic bridge. The method here is beautifully simple, just 2 steps. First, you find the underlying hanja sound in Korean, and then you predictably map it right over to the Japanese onyomi reading. Our source material emphasizes that while these languages obviously evolved over time, the core phonetic DNA of these imported words remained remarkably stable. So, you get to be a linguistic detective. You find the root sound, apply the Japanese phonetic shift, and boom, you've unlocked a new word without staring at a flashcard for 20 minutes. Which brings us to part 3, mastering the onyomi rule.
Now, this is an absolutely crucial distinction. Our learning hack applies perfectly to onyomi, which are the sounds originally imported from China. Because they share that historical root, they follow predictable rules. However, you are going to need to accept kunyomi readings as independent Japanese developments. There's just no predictable pattern connecting Korean to Japanese kunyomi. But for onyomi, it is an absolute goldmine of predictability.
Let's put this into practice with part 4, a case study on the kanji for king. Take a look at this anchor character for king. It's written with just 4 simple strokes. It's a foundational 8th grade level kanji, and crucially for us, its Japanese onyomi reading is O. The phonetic shift happening here is undeniable. It's almost like a magic trick. The Korean wang reliably translates to the Japanese ao, creating a mental rule that you just can't unsee once you notice it. Notice how the initial W sound softens, and the ang transitions into an elongated ao vowel sound. So mentally, whenever you see a word containing this character, your brain should immediately bridge wang to ao. Let's see exactly how much vocabulary this single connection actually unlocks. Let's see this in action with part 5, the vocabulary expansion table. Look how effortlessly this works. Wanga becomes oke, and wangoku becomes okoku simply by swapping in that predictable O sound. Because the first part of every single one of these compound words is the king character, you already know the first half of the Japanese pronunciation is going to be O. You aren't memorizing the whole word out of thin air, you're just snapping the pieces together to build a royal vocabulary empire. And the pattern just keeps going flawlessly with these royal terms. It totally proves that you can deduce the Japanese pronunciation without brute force memorization. Look at Wang Shil becoming Oshitsu, or Wang Jia, meaning prince, becoming Oji. If you're learning Japanese and you suddenly encounter the word for throne, oza, you don't need to panic. You recognize that king character, you apply the O rule, and you're already halfway there. This dramatically lowers the barrier to entry and saves beginners an incredible amount of time. So how do we actually practice this? Part 6. Your step-by-step roadmap. To scale your vocabulary logically, don't try to learn compound words first. You want to start at stage 1, grasp that base root sound, like wang. Then move to stage 2, establish the onyomi mapping, which is O.
Then, and only then, hit stage 3, where you fan out into all those compound words we just looked at. This logical progression is the absolute key to making it stick in your memory.
By leveraging these simple, effective, everyday tips directly from our source material, you're basically hacking the Japanese language. Grouping words by a common anchor, exactly like we just did with the king character, is incredibly efficient. It trains your brain to look for patterns and phonetic shifts rather than just memorizing blindly. And again, always remember to categorize those native Japanese kunyomi readings separately in your mind, just so they don't confuse your newly built onyomi frameworks. Now that you hold the key to this linguistic bridge, I challenge you. Go find your next kanji anchor and multiply your vocabulary today. If Wang reliably becomes O, just think about all the other common roots out there waiting to be mapped. You're no longer just memorizing, right? You're decoding. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to start applying this pattern matching strategy to your studies right away.